Right at the top we define 3 annotations. At aspect we'll mark a class that contains advice methods, it's just a label, no parameters. At before and at after are placed on methods, each carries a method name string so we can say this advice runs before method X or after method X. All 3 are kept at runtime because we'll read them later using reflection. Next comes a simple data holder. When we intercept a method, we create one joinPoint object. It stores the name of the method being called and its arguments. Our advice methods will receive this joinPoint so they can inspect what's happening. We keep it small and immutable, no setters needed. Now the core. AOP Proxy has a single static method createProxy. It takes the original object we want to wrap, target, and an aspect object that holds the advice. First, we get the targets class. Then we create 2 lookup maps, one for at before advice methods, one for at after. The keys will be method names, the values the actual method objects ready to invoke. Still inside createProxy. We loop over every method declared in the aspects class. If a method has it before, we read it. After this loop, the 2 maps are fully populated. The aspect object itself is just a plain instance, we'll see an example of one later. Now the real magic. Proxy.newProxyInstance creates a synthetic object that implements all interfaces of the target class. The third argument is a lambda invocation handler. Every method call on the proxy will go through this lambda. We capture the method name and arguments into a joinPoint. Then we check, is there a at before advice registered for this exact method name? If yes, we invoke it, passing the aspect instance and the joinPoint. Next, we call the actual method on the real target. Now we define the target of our AOP. Greeting service is a plain interface with 2 methods. Greeting service impl is a concrete implementation that prints and returns a greeting. Notice there's nothing AOP related here, this is normal business code. Soon we'll wrap it with our proxy. Here's our concrete aspect. The at aspect annotation marks it as an aspect, though our factory doesn't actually check for it, it's optional. The log before method is attached to sayHello via at before, method name equals sayHello. It receives the joinPoint we created earlier and prints the method name and arguments. Log after runs after sayHello. There's also a before advice for say goodbye that prints a different message. Finally, the entry point. We create the real service, then wrap it with AOP proxy.createProxy, passing a new instance of logging aspect. The return proxy object also implements greeting service. When we call proxy.sayHello, Alice, the handler inside the proxy fires, runs the before advice, then the real say hello, then the after advice. Then we call say goodbye, which triggers only its before advice. The output shows exactly this flow. That's a complete AOP engine in about 250 lines. No magic, just annotations, a join point snapshot, and a dynamic proxy that weaves advice before and after method calls. This is the blueprint behind every Spring at transactional, at cacheable, and custom interceptor.